Good morning. Good morning. How the devil are you doing this fine day? Good morning to Lee Matt over on Instagram, to Milky Minnie and to Adrian Rogers and to Keaty as well. Good morning, one and all. Gary Muirhead, kicking things off. I was reading the cost of cemeteries are going up and they're blaming it on the cost of living. Dear, oh dear. Yes. Whenever we used to drive, when I was a kid, whenever we used to drive past the cemetery, my father used to say, people are dying to get in there. Yes. And if we groaned, he'd say, yes. You don't realise that's the dead centre of town, that is. Yeah, wasn't funny then, not that funny now, but good morning, one and all. Chris Ford was actually here before the show even began. Good morning, Chris. Might be on time again, but watch the phone ring just as you start. Do what I do, put it on silent running. Gary Muirhead. I've already mentioned Gary, but he is actually checking in from a sunny Shetland. See, in my head, the sun doesn't shine on Shetland. I mean, I realise it shines on the righteous, and Gary unquestionably is one of the righteous, but I always thought it was just basically rain and wind, interspersed with the occasional snow in the middle of July. What do I know? Mark Whiting is here as well. Good morning to you, Mark, as well. I've got a question for you today. No prizes, no nothing. Just to keep me amused and to keep you amused as well. Here we go. Which everyday household item beloved of children was originally invented and sold to clean soot off wallpaper? This must be quite some time ago. I don't think we've had soot on wallpaper for quite some time now. But apparently there is an everyday household item that children love that was originally invented and sold to remove said soot from the wallpaper. Anybody got any ideas what that might be? Chris Ford says, I was right. Good morning, barbenders. Good morning, good morning. Only days of the year mark, and today... only days of the year mark, and today is one of them. Yes, absolutely. But glad to hear the sun is shining where you are. And Jim Turner has just arrived as well. Morning, peeps. Good morning, Jim. How are we doing? I'm going to take Gary out of the conversation just for a second. Are we all excited for tonight? Are we? Can't say I am. Filled with a mix of fear, dread, trepidation, and the feeling of almost inevitable disappointment. I've been watching England for far too long. Gary Muirhead says, only 2 sunny days of the year, and today is one of them. Well, bask, Gary. Bask in that sunshine. Make the most of what it is while it's there, rather. And Jim Turner is absolutely right. It is. That item that was originally invented and sold to remove soot from wallpaper is Play-Doh. It is Play-Doh. Chris Ford, why? What's happening? Apparently there's a football match on tonight. Apparently. Gary Muirhead says, is it coming home, guys? I don't believe so. Our track record against Argentina is not great. I hate to say it, but I do wonder if there's a bit of a, I wouldn't say a fix as such, but it does feel like someone somewhere wants Lionel Messi to make it all the way to the final. Just saying, I may be speaking out of turn, but it does feel a lot like that. And obviously, Spain beat France last night. France were my favourites to win the whole thing. Delighted to see them go out because I think Kylian Mbappe is an arrogant little twat. That's a whole other story, but delighted to see the Spain team make it. The problem is both France and Spain have the beating of England. I actually think Argentina probably have the beating of Argentina as well. So have the beating of England as well. So yeah, not overly optimistic. Stephen Edwards checking in from the Netherlands. Gary Muirhead saying 1966 all over again. Listen, wouldn't it be marvellous? I do have problems with the England team. I'm a West Ham supporter, and that being said, I'm also a football fan, and I will stand by what I've said from the beginning. Having watched most of the games in the World Cup, England do play some of the dullest football I've seen, and I realise we've hyped up Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham, but I don't actually think they play particularly exciting football. But all that being said, bearing in mind the fact that the country is in the doldrums and so on down the line, if we were to make it to the final and then win the final, can you imagine the sense of boost it would give the country? Can only hope. Rody beaten Argentina, and that was in 1982. Yes, I know what you're referring to, Chris. Good morning, Ken Hatcher, who has got all of the weather. He's got cloud, he's got sun, he's got a bit more cloud and a bit more sun. Good morning to you. Jim Turner says it is actually Play-Doh, D-O-H. D-O-H. Nobody spells that right. Mick Norton is here. Good morning from an overcast Wakefield. It's still quite sunny here. Still stuffily warm as well. And you will get a day off if England win. Well, maybe that's where the fix is in. Maybe Keir Starmer or King Charles or Andy Burnham has phoned ahead to your man Infantino and said, whatever you do, don't let England win because they'll all want a bloody day off and our productivity, which is piss poor at the best of times, will go through the floor. I think the fix is in, people. Right, we've got a packed show, and one of the films we've got today is almost 13 minutes long, and it's 13 minutes long partly because there's a lot in it, but also it shows the sheer scale. I'll tell you more about it in just a moment, but without further ado, let us begin, shall we? Let me roll the intro and get the show on the road. It is Wednesday, the 15th of July. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. You know the rest, the walrus, the lord, the thing, you know. In today's show, we're taking a deep dive into the Volvo ECR40 mini excavator. We're linking up with JCB LiveLink. I'm going to be showing you the sheer scale of Sany. That's the 13-minute film, and you'll see why when we get there. And Liebherr makes a recovery. Not financially, they're absolutely sound as a pound as far as finance is concerned, but they have a new recovery vehicle. You're unlikely to see it on a site anytime soon, but it is really quite spectacular. And in today's episode of Mark's Morning Monologue, I'm channeling my inner Roy Orbison because it's called Only the Lonely. That's what it's called, and we'll get to all of that in just a moment. But first, we need a bit of Caterpillar to gird our loins. Here we go. Yeah, we're going to start today quite small. ECR40 from Volvo. Got an American walk around the new machine, and it's pretty good. Both the film and the machine. Enjoy.
Today we will be taking a closer look at the ECR40. The ECR40 has a maximum dig depth of 11 feet and 3 inches, 25 horsepower, and weighs 9,100 pounds. This model is equipped with a 9-foot boom with offset cylinder below the cab. We have long life steel bushings that allow us to have 50-hour greasing intervals. This machine has an additional long arm at 5 foot 11 inches. This machine can have a standard float blade or angle blade. This unit is also equipped with a Volvo hydraulic quick coupler. This OEM coupler can be operated from inside the cab, allowing the operator to switch buckets or turn the bucket 180 degrees. A manual coupler is also available. At Volvo, we recognize the importance of safety, quality, and comfort. This cab is equipped with ROPS, Level 1 FOPS, and TOPS certification. We have an orange grab bar independently bolted to the side, where it would be easily replaced if damaged. Our large cab entry is just under 20 inches, making it one of the largest in the industry. Additionally, the Volvo will also have an orange footstep that will provide you with better traction when getting in and out of the cab. Below the entry, we have a lockable toolbox, making for a perfect storage solution for chains, grease guns, or any other tools. Taking a look at the back of the machine, we are going to have the exclusive to Volvo hydraulic filter. This additional filter allows the hydraulic motors and hydraulic attachments oil to be pre-filtered before going into the main hydraulic system. Additionally, in the back, you will have the main control valve plus the fuel fill. This allows us to inspect the control valve for any potential leaks every time you refuel the machine. Additionally, the hood acts as a protective cover when refueling and is lockable with the same key as the rest of the machine. As we move to the engine compartment, to save time, we have easy access to most maintenance items. This includes the starter, the belts, and the coolers. Taking a look inside the cab, the first thing you will notice is all the available room. The Volvo is going to provide a comfortable, safe environment that any operator would love to work within. The Volvo is going to have full-size metal travel controls, making operating a breeze and taking away from any potential wear points. As you can see, the controls are going to move with the seat. The armrests are adjustable as well, again providing that comfortable experience for the operator. The top window has an integrated storage area for the lower window, allowing for a smooth motion to raise both windows. Inside the cab, you will find a robust heating and cooling system with vents behind the seats, providing the operator with the utmost comfort. While in the cab, you will see the control lever that will operate the float blade. When creating a level surface at a job site, a float blade will handle the task with ease. A button will activate the float feature, leaving you full control to turn on or turn off with the ergonomic lever. The red button on top will control your high and low travel speed. Taking a look at the display, you will see just how customizable your operations can be. Operated by a jog wheel, there are numerous functions you can control inside the display. These functions include pattern control change, auxiliary hydraulics, flows, and if single or dual directions, allowing for multiple saved profiles. If you are interested or have any questions on what you heard today, please reach out to your local Volvo dealer. They would be more than happy to help.
Having seen that up close, I can say, very, very, very smart machine. Gary Muirhead says, I'm surprised that Volvo didn't win the Mini Excavator World Cup that was on the show. Well, it's down to you lot. You decided. You ultimately chose Kubota. I can't actually argue. The one thing I would say is there's a degree of specialization, isn't there? Volvo makes some fantastic equipment from the very smallest to the very biggest and all points in between. Kubota are specialized, and I realize they've ventured up and they do tractors and various other bits and pieces, but they are at heart a mini excavator manufacturer. That's my thoughts anyway. Going back to my mention of Only the Lonely by Roy Orbison. Jim Turner says, my grandma once described him as that blind fella when she liked one of his songs, but didn't know who he was. Do you want to know an interesting fact? Well, I think it's an interesting fact anyway. Back in 1989, and I can remember it because it was quite a big deal, I went to the States. Me and my then fiancée, soon-to-be wife, went to America. Toured around a bit. We did various bits of it, and New Orleans and so on down the line. But we ended up at Elvis's house at Graceland in Memphis. And when you go around, you can go around probably 80% of the house, and it's as he left it. You can go into the jungle room and stuff like that. And you see the aeroplane he had that was named after his daughter, Lisa Marie, and all the things. And everywhere you go, there is only two sets of music. You basically hear, 99% of the time you hear Elvis, not great surprise, but you also hear one other singer. And that other singer is Roy Orbison, because Elvis apparently reckoned that Roy Orbison was the bee's knees. So yeah, you're walking around Graceland and you're listening to Elvis, you ain't nothing but a hound dog and all that kind of thing, and up pops your man doing Pretty Woman because Elvis was a fan. Just saying. You don't see many Volvo Minis in Wales. Well, Wales is clearly missing out. Mick Norton says, Starmer's last day on Sunday. It's come around that quickly, is it? Bloody hell. Imagine the prospect of that Sado with his mitts on the Jewelry May trophy. Yes, I'm sure he'd offer it to a refugee or something. Gary Muirhead says, yes, and I've been watching this too. I've been watching the process of the new Jumbo Mark II by Marco Lorini. There is some engineering that goes into one of them. And maybe you'll be invited over to see the finished product, Mark. I'd like to think so. I mean, I don't speak to Marco very often because, well, obviously he's a busy guy for one thing. His English isn't marvellous, but he's got a couple of people that work with him. I actually bumped into one of them. Where was that? At Samota. I bumped into one of their guys in one of the aisles, and we were having a chat about the Jumbo and everything else. So yes, I'm keeping my finger on the pulse, Gary. You never know, and yes, I'd love an invite. Unfortunately, because when I went to the Lorini facility before, it was part of an organised trip. So we had maybe a couple of hours there, presentations, tour of the factory, see some of their products. I got to get inside the Setanta machine, all of which was fantastic. But then this being Italy, they decided, let's go for lunch for 3 hours. So we ended up going for lunch. The lunch was fantastic. The company was great. Got to have a bit of a chat with Marco, all of which was fantastic. But then we jumped on a coach and left. I'd love to actually have a day there and have a proper route around. So the good folks of Lorini, if you're watching, please send me an invitation. There was no VAR or extra time or penalties carried. We're talking about 1982 here, a whole different type of battle. And there's Gary saying, very true, Chris. Remember that so well. Yeah, so well. When would I have been? 17. I was just on my way to college, I think, when that all kicked off. Anyway, we did a bit of LiveLink yesterday from JCB, talking about how it impacts on, positively impacts on fuel consumption. We're going to take a bit of a deeper dive on LiveLink in just a second after this.
If you are enjoying this episode, please consider supporting the show. You can leave us a tip at buymeacoffee.com/demolition news.
One of the great pleasures of going to JCB these days, I mean, I love going around the JCB experience and around the various factories. But they have a bit in their world headquarters that is set aside as the kind of nerve center for the LiveLink, and they've got this huge screen. I don't know, 40 foot wide and 20 foot high or whatever it might be, huge screen where they're pinpointing all of the various machines that are dotted around the world, and they're monitoring them all automatically and constantly using LiveLink. Speaking of LiveLink, let's have a closer look.
Machines connected everywhere. Different types. Different operators. Different applications. Behind every milestone lies complexity. Machines on the ground. Costs adding up. Sustainability ambitions. Keeping workers safe. Various platforms make it harder to act. Then everything changes. One platform connected. One clear view of everything. The new JCB LiveLink, built to turn information into intelligence. Alerts become action. Downtime becomes uptime. With the operator app, risk becomes safety. Data becomes decisions that matter. Create dashboards from scratch in just a few clicks. Add charts, maps, and key metrics to craft a personalized overview of your fleet. LiveLink remote features allow you to adjust machine settings at the touch of a button, monitor tyre pressure in real time, and enhance security with pin-protected access. Create virtual boundaries around your sites and assets, allowing you to build securely and with confidence. Now, every machine is seen. Every person is visible. Every site protected. Your entire mixed fleet connected in one place. Because when you can see more, you can do more. Move faster. Work smarter. Build with confidence. JCB LiveLink gives fleet managers and owner-operators the power to unlock efficiency savings, improve safety, and deliver sustainable projects.
smart system. We've had a question from Gary Muirhead, who says, where and when is the next big plant show or exhibition? Is that it for this year? UK wise, that's it for this year. The next show I think would probably be the Executive Hire Show, which is usually January, February time in Coventry. There is, however, another one. I wouldn't call it local as such, but there's this one. Yes, that is the Equipment Expo that is taking place in October over in Kentucky, in Louisville, Kentucky. We went to Louisville, as you may recall, for the Utility Expo. Had a fantastic time. Great place. Would love to be able to get over to that. Got to make it worth it our while. Need somebody to pay for it, or multiple people to pay for it. But yeah, we're starting to work on that as we speak. I would like to see that screen. Wait till they introduce AI. Yeah, we're talking about JCB and LiveLink and everything else. As I say, there are bits of the JCB facility where we get to see it because we're press. We're expressly told not to film it or photograph it, so I've never got a picture of it. But it is. I wonder if they have. No, I'll keep searching. I can't see anything there. Oh, that's not bad. No, it doesn't really show it. I'll keep searching. If I can find... Oh, that's better, actually. Bear with me 1 second. I'll... come along now. I should be able to show that to you any second now. Let's get Ken out of the way. And let's... image file. Here we go. That's what I was talking about. There you are. I don't know how well you can see it, but that's kind of the nerve center, the uptime center. But you can see the screen in the background there. It's a bit like NASA. It's a bit like going to a moon landing or something like that. So you've got a bunch of engineers and technicians and what have you, and they're all basically facing that big screen at the end there. It's an astonishing thing. It really is. If ever you get the chance, if ever you get the invite to go and have a look, I strongly recommend that you do so. Right, we've got another film for you now, and this is a long one. I'm just tidying up my screen while that's all going on. These Chinese manufacturers kind of came out of the woodwork not so long ago, last 5 or 10 years, suddenly. We'd seen them before. I remember encountering XCMG probably 20 years ago at a Baumer or a Con Expo, can't remember which. But remember encountering them thinking, well, that'll never catch on. Well, sure enough, it did catch on in a big way. What I'm about to show you is a nearly 13-minute film from Sany. Look at the products, obviously. Listen to the commentary, which is pretty good for a Chinese manufacturer. But while you're doing it, just have a look at the sheer scale of this thing. I'm going to play it for you now. I'll see you in 13 minutes. Enjoy.
Driven by our mission, quality changes the world. Sany has transformed from a small-town workshop into a Fortune Global 500 powerhouse. Over 3 decades of unwavering commitment, we now proudly lead China's engineering machinery export and rank among the world's top 3 construction equipment manufacturers. Our diverse industrial landscape is anchored in construction machinery. As one of Sany's pioneering business divisions, Sany Road Machinery is on a trajectory toward global leadership in the road machinery sector. Over the course of 2 decades of dedicated advancement, Sany Road Equipment has established its presence in 136 countries and regions across Asia, Africa, North America, and Western Europe, achieving the leading market share for specific products in 41 nations. Transitioning from a follower to a leader, Sany exemplifies the formidable capabilities of China's engineering machinery with the phrase, "World Roads, built by Sany," becoming an increasingly recognized global standard. all for customers, everything driven by innovation. We are at the forefront of pioneering cutting-edge technologies that shape the future of the industry. With dual R&D centers located in Changsha, China and Europe, nearly 1,000 engineers lead technological advancements, securing over 2,500 patents. We've built a digital simulation platform with over 5,000 computing cores, covering all working scenarios and conditions, redefining engineering machinery benchmarks through advanced digital intelligence. Additionally, our comprehensive 1,200-unit testing system spans materials to complete machines, ensuring that every piece of equipment is capable of thriving in extreme global operating conditions. In China, we have established the world's largest smart lighthouse factory cluster, covering 160,000 square meters. Leveraging flexible automation, AI, and large-scale industrial Internet of Things, we have created a flexible manufacturing system that incorporates unmanned logistics, sorting, automated terminal production, and intelligent management decision-making. This has resulted in a remarkable 123% increase in capacity, a 98% improvement in productivity, and a 59% reduction in delivery cycles. Through the parameterization of craftsmanship, automated probe detection, and the integration of laser and AI visual inspection, we boosted product reliability by 69%. With 100% in-house production of core components and a commitment to unmanned lean manufacturing, we deliver unparalleled quality. Leveraging our world-class supply chain, we achieve remarkable production efficiency with one machine rolling off the line every 10 minutes, as we digitalize our way to industry leadership. Across continents, we provide hyper-localized solutions while expanding our global footprint, illuminating every road-building endeavor with excellence in localized manufacturing. At the core of our market leadership are products that exceed industry standards. From 1,000-meter-high plateaus to muddy tropical rainforests, from heavy-duty mining operations to precision airport paving, our 6 specialized product lines cover all working conditions. We deliver integrated, intelligent road engineering solutions tailored to meet every challenge our customers face. Road Rollers, all-weather compaction specialist for unmatched performance and reliability. Sany's extensive lineup of road rollers excels in all climate zones. Our tandem drum rollers utilize a globally exclusive dual filter control algorithm, earning accolades for flawless leveling at Hong Kong International Airport. Compact rollers with an ultra-tight turning radius easily navigate narrow spaces while achieving a 40% improvement in gradability. Our industry-pioneering radar-based safety technology has maintained a zero-accident record since product launch. Customers across Brazil, Indonesia, and the Philippines have celebrated our products, with Vietnam's largest single-unit order setting industry records. Motor graders, Sany's global trailblazer, pivotal to our international expansion, feature 2 distinct technological series. Since its 2002 debut in Morocco, our motor graders have set industry benchmarks with exceptional maneuverability and durability. In North America, we became the first Chinese manufacturer to enter the premium market. In Africa, our exceptional quality has won widespread acclaim. With features such as one-touch blade control, auto-leveling, and impact-forged wear-resistant mold boards, our graders deliver industry-leading service life across extreme working conditions. In 2023, we launched the world's first continuously variable transmission CVT mining grader, highlighting China's intelligent manufacturing excellence on the global stage. Pavers, high-grade surface specialists. At Maldives International Airport, Sany pavers deliver millimeter precision, surpassing international standards. Our patented high-rigidity anti-torsion screed, combined with vision-based AI auto-correction technology, has achieved mirror-finish asphalt paving on major projects such as the Yinkun, Hada, Shufu, and Jinggang-Ao highways. With superior products and adaptability in all conditions, Sany has dominated the domestic market for 11 consecutive years as China's top-rated paver brand, setting global benchmarks with the Chinese paving standard. Milling machines, Smart Lancet for road rehabilitation. Our eco-mode operation extends fuel efficiency by half a day, translating to annual savings of $35,000. The Intelligent Assist system reduces operator workload by 50%, while the proprietary third-generation intelligent leveling ensures zero-error milling in all conditions and instant response with no lag time. Proven performance across demanding road rehabilitation projects in over 30 countries has made Sany milling synonymous with operational excellence and quality craftsmanship in global infrastructure maintenance. Asphalt plants, efficiency powerhouse for smart production. Our industry-leading cold feed adaptive control technology addresses the challenge of automated material feeding. With a 10% larger mixing chamber than competitors, we achieve a 15% higher hourly output of quality asphalt mix. The intelligent control system transforms operators from hands-on technicians to monitoring supervisors, reducing labor costs by 70%. From Africa's industrialization to Southeast Asia's infrastructure boom, Sany asphalt plants drive global projects, establishing new standards for sustainable pavement construction worldwide through EPC Green Park Solutions.
无人驾驶、智能化施工机器设备。
Unmanned paving and compaction fleets, global solutions for future road construction. Sany is at the forefront of intelligent, unmanned construction through strategic technological innovation. Our proprietary centimeter-level positioning system enables seamless coordination across 15 machine fleets, facilitating fully autonomous operations from rapid 3D modeling to precision paving and intelligent compaction. This adaptable system excels in diverse working environments, enhancing worksite safety and boosting efficiency by 20% with deviation control under 3 centimeters. Having already deployed in over 50 major infrastructure projects across 21 provinces in China. With the vision of being an industry pioneer, Sany Road Machinery continues to innovate with the launch of our C10 series integrated solutions for global customers. We are committed to advancing construction technology across the entire value chain, delivering smarter, more future-ready equipment to lead the evolution of road machinery. Unrivaled service excellence is our unwavering promise to customers around the globe. With 900 service hubs serving as beacons of support, 3,500 on-call engineers, commitment to 1215 service pledge designed to maximize equipment uptime, 48-hour global parts delivery, 24/7 ECC monitoring for nearly 1 million units worldwide, we ensure customers' peace of mind in every project. We stand guard wherever roads are built, even where none exist yet, because for Sany, service means being there before you need us. As a Belt and Road Initiative pioneer, Sany Road Machinery has embarked on a significant journey of global expansion. In 2023, for the first time, our overseas sales surpassed domestic figures, achieving a remarkable compound annual growth rate of over 50% for 5 consecutive years. Today, Sany holds the position of the leading road machinery brand in more than 20 countries and consistently ranks among the top 3 in 63 markets. This success is a testament to the company's high-quality products and its collaboration with international partners, which continues to set new milestones within the industry. Sany is committed to corporate responsibility and actively promotes comprehensive localization across manufacturing, research and development, and marketing services, thereby fostering an integrated industrial ecosystem worldwide. By creating employment opportunities and driving global economic growth, Sany collaborates with partners to co-create a sustainable future. Leveraging innovative Chinese approaches to global challenges, Sany is breaking barriers through advanced technology, building trust through exceptional service, and delivering premium solutions to customers worldwide. The company is at the forefront of transforming the industry toward a safer, more reliable and efficient future. Sany Road Machinery, mastering global terrains, shaping the future.
Pretty good, right? Pretty good. Lots and lots of comments. And I think, start with Ken, it's mind-boggling. Yeah, it absolutely is. And you think that's a couple of decades of development. Where is the end to that, I wonder? Jim Turner, going back a film, Jim Turner says, the LiveLink is all part of getting everything in order for autonomous small site machines. It's not far off. I'll drop on the domestic work when I'm not needed on site. Kind of feels like that sometimes, doesn't it? Gary says, is there nothing that the Chinese don't manufacture or produce for the construction and demolition industry? They've got everything covered, I think. I really do think they have. Ken Hatcher says, that takes some belief, but it's massive. That's just one company. UK is like a needle in a haystack now. Yeah, if you think that they are one of the big, you've got XCMG, Sany, Sunward, Lugong, in a couple of decades. And I wonder if we took them seriously enough. When I say we, I'm talking more specifically about the manufacturers, not just British manufacturers, European manufacturers, American manufacturers. The Chinese. It'll never catch on. Or they actually look quite good, but they're still quite small and they rust a bit too quickly. And actually, the new generation isn't bad at all. And then all of a sudden, they're taking over the bloody world. All this Chinese equipment that's available, it can't be all bad. I wonder which manufacturer will survive and prosper. Are they the future of plant? Look at the Japanese and the Koreans. I do think they will be an integral part of the equipment of the future. Now, whether there's any sort of rationalization, as I say, we've got the big four, the Lugong, the XMG, Sany, Sunward. Whether there'll be some rationalization over there, who the hell knows? But they are big. And they're not done yet. When you think that a lot of that has been built on, I realise that some of them are at least partly, if not entirely, state-owned. So there's been a degree on that. All of that growth, by and large, has been built on domestic demand because of the demand that during the Chinese construction boom. And when you listen to the way that they are developing, I mean, let's be absolutely honest. Lugong have made pretty good inroads here. Sany have done a little bit. Sunward have done a little bit. XCMG yet to really make inroads. But you go to places a bit further afield, like Turkey, for example, and the Chinese are there in a big, big way. I was looking at a thing yesterday. I reported on the sale of some big autonomous Liebherr trucks to Fortescue Mining down in Australia, all of which is apparently going swimmingly and all is right with that world. But at the same time, Fortescue has now been out and invested in a big fleet of XCMG trucks as well. So Liebherr possibly thought they had the entire market to themselves, or that one company to themselves, and along come the Chinese and steal it away. Stefan Edwards says this: within a few months, 2 fully electric 50-ton Sany demolition machines will be delivered to the Netherlands at Lek Demolition, one of which will be fitted with an HRD boom. As far as I know, these are the first EV demolition cranes in that weight class worldwide. Stefan, you may need to introduce me to the folks at Lek Demolition, because I'd love to go and see one of those in action. Gary Muirhead says, watching this video proves just how far we in the UK have fallen behind the rest of the world in design, development, manufacturing. Seems the rest of the world is overtaking us. I think the overtaking has long since passed. We really, whenever we talk about British manufacturing, I realise Komatsu assemble and to a degree manufacture here, but really and truly our last proper bit of equipment manufacturing is JCB. Yes, there's a bit of Thwaites and stuff, but no dumper manufacturer is going to be competing on the global stage in quite the same way. So yeah, you're absolutely right. As Napoleon said, says Mick Norton, when China wakes, the world will tremble. He knew his onions, did you, Napoleon? We used to call China a third world country. Not anymore. We're starting to feel like that. Why is everyone wearing a hard hat? That would really piss me off in an office. I'm sure if China's anything like Japan, and I believe it probably is in some respects, in Japan, they are given a rule and they follow it. There's no, you wear a shirt and tie to the office. Well, I'll undo my tie. No, you won't. No. You'll wear a shirt and tie. You'll wear it properly, and you'll cross the road only when the green, not the flashing green man, the green man, and so on. I would imagine the Chinese are probably much the same. Most of the major manufacturers have a base in China now. Yeah, and I wonder how that will pan out. Obviously, a lot of them did it. Partly they did it to get an inroad into a booming market, and also for access to cheaper labour. That cheaper labour can't last forever. What happens when the cost of labour in China starts to gain parity with other parts of the world? Do they move on to another place? Do we suddenly have a boom in Vietnamese or Filipino excavators? Who the hell knows? They're taking over the world since the 60s. Politicians know it, and most punters are too thick to realise it. Does feel like it. Even Hidromek in Turkey are making big inroads in the construction and plant industry. I think, this is just me speaking, I think Hidromek are one good dealer away from having a proper presence in the UK. The products are good. The support is only up the road. I mean, Turkey is not exactly on our doorstep, but it's not that far away. It's got everything going for it. What it lacks is that one importer or dealer to really make inroads. Watch this space, I would say. Going to a shorter film next after this. Liebherr is kind of all things to all men, depending how you come at the company. You might know them for their excavators, their dozers, their wheel loaders. You might know them for their cranes. You might know them for their fridges or their vineyards or their hotels. What you probably don't know them for is military equipment. But they do it. Had this question from Chris Ford, who says, wonder if Liebherr could adapt a crane to become a rocket launcher. I don't know if Liebherr could. I don't know if Liebherr would, but they wouldn't be the first. I don't know if you remember this. It's a few months ago. China was found to be basically disguising intercontinental ballistic missile launchers, that's ICBMs, as Zoomlion cranes. Yeah, that was reported a few months ago. So yeah, in answer to your question, Chris, no idea if they could or would, but they wouldn't be the first. Mick Norton, this is a poignant one. A lifelong friend recently had his funeral in Melbourne, and his dying wish was everyone attending wore a high-vis top to celebrate his 60 years as a plant operator, quarry manager. Even the celebrant complied. Rest in peace, Tony. Yeah, rest in peace, Tony, indeed. I had a call yesterday from a guy who had been among those working at Didcot on that fateful day back in 23rd of February 2016. And he was basically phoning me to tell me that one of the guys that had been involved, he'd been there on the day, and he'd also been involved in the rescue of one of the guys who'd been trapped and thankfully survived. But the guy that was part of it is now suffering from advanced stages of cancer, started in his lungs. It's now spread to his brain. He has a matter of weeks left to live. I am beavering away in the background. I will tell you more about it when we get to it. But yeah, in all likelihood, that's another person that was there on the day, very much involved in the whole Didcot thing, and won't get to see any kind of explanation or closure. Terribly sad news. It was a difficult conversation yesterday, but I will keep you posted on all of that. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the main part of this morning show. Don't forget, I did promise you a show tonight. It can't happen because I still haven't finished the film. Apologies. I'm going to roll my outro in just a second before leaping gazelle-like over into the morning monologue. If you can't stick around for that, please stay safe. Look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues as well. Hope to see you again very soon. But if you do have the time and the inclination, I'll be back immediately after this. Every morning, before the sun has even thought about breaking through the grey British sky, thousands of headlights light up the motorways. Sitting alone inside those vans and cars are the men and women who build our world. For many in the demolition construction industry, that quiet drive is merely the prologue to a deeply isolated day. Once they're through the site gates, they step out, sign in, and climb straight into the cab of an excavator, a dozer, or a crane. The door clicks shut, and for the next 9 or 10 hours, their entire world is 3 cubic meters of space, a couple of joysticks, and the steady roar of diesel engines. When break time rolls around, there's no rush to a bustling canteen. There's no shared laughter over a steaming mug of tea. Instead, the ignition key is turned halfway, the radio hums in the background, and a dog-eared sandwich is eaten straight out of a tinfoil wrapper right there at the controls. When the shift ends, the journey reverses. They drive back to temporary digs in a town they don't know, eat a solitary microwave meal or a lonely takeaway, and climb into a cold bed. They arrive alone, they work alone, and they go home alone. The nomadic, transient nature of modern contracting means that by the time you actually learn a colleague's name, the project is wrapped up and everyone is scattered to the 4 corners of the country once again. We've spent years comforting ourselves with a very convenient narrative. We tell ourselves that construction is a tough, masculine world where people simply choose not to talk. We claim that men are naturally bad at expressing their feelings, that they bottle things up out of male pride or stubbornness. When it's a lazy assumption, and it completely ignores the reality of the modern workplace. We rarely stop to ask much simpler questions, like even if a worker wanted to talk, who on earth would they talk to? You can't have a heart-to-heart with someone when you're separated by thick, acoustic-rated safety glass and 50 yards of muddy wasteland. You can't share your worries about your family, your mortgage, or your mental health when your only interaction with your supervisor is a thumb signal or a crackle over a 2-way radio. The truth is that we have systematically dismantled the spaces where connection used to happen. The days when an entire site would down tools and head to the local greasy spoon for a hearty fry-up and a proper catch-up are long gone. Tight margins, aggressive schedules and strict health and safety policies have squeezed out these vital pockets of downtime. Workers are actively discouraged from having an after-work pint, and the mid-morning social cup of tea has been replaced by a mad rush to keep up with the programme. We've traded human warmth for marginal gains in productivity. Now, in the sporting world, we talk endlessly about the magic of the team. We study how legendary managers foster a deep sense of mutual trust, a hive mind where every player knows exactly what their teammate is going to do before they do it. We know that a squad of average players who trust each other will always beat a collection of brilliant individuals who don't. Yet in demolition and construction, we've largely abandoned the concept of the team. What we have on the ground today is a collection of individual subcontractors, self-employed operators, and agency staff thrown together for a few weeks at a time. Without trust, there's no safety net. When you don't know the person operating the machine next to you, you can't anticipate their movements. You can't rely on them to have your back in the same way that a tight-knit crew would. The loss of camaraderie is a potential safety hazard far beyond a simple shame. It leaves workers feeling like disposable cogs in a massive, indifferent machine. The human toll of this isolation is deeply worrying. Loneliness weighs heavily, both physically and psychologically, far beyond a simple, sad feeling. When you spend weeks on end with no one to talk to but your own reflection in the cab window, your mind begins to play tricks on you. Minor worries spiral into overwhelming anxieties. Problems at home feel insurmountable because you have to carry them entirely on your own. The mental health statistics in our industry are already a national scandal. We're losing far too many good people to suicide and depression. When a person is staying in lonely digs, eating alone in pubs where everyone else is laughing with friends, the sense of exclusion and isolation becomes unbearable. They're physically present on a bustling, noisy site, yet they're invisible. That paradox, being lonely in a crowd, is one of the most painful experiences a human being can go through. And this represents both a critical welfare issue and a commercial disaster for the sector. The financial drain of this loneliness epidemic shows up on every balance sheet, even if it's not explicitly labelled. We can't simply shrug our shoulders and accept that this is the cost of doing business. If we can engineer incredibly complex structures and demolish massive concrete towers with millimetre precision, we can surely design a site culture that values human connection. And it starts with small, deliberate choices. It means creating comfortable, clean site welfare facilities that actually encourage people to sit together rather than retreating to their machines. It means building project timelines that allow for a 20-minute pause where everyone can grab a cup of coffee and a snack together. It means treating team building as a critical safety requirement rather than a luxury. We need to stop treating our workforce as a list of seat warmers. We need to start building genuine teams again. Until we do, we're going to continue to pay a heavy price, both in the safety of our sites and in the lives of the people that build them. There you are. That's my thought for the day. That lonely in a crowd, I'm not going to go into great spiels about health, about mental health and stuff, because I know I talk about it a lot. That basically was, it wasn't the trigger. The day I had that myself was the day I realised that there was a problem. I had a bigger problem than just feeling a bit grumpy. I'd taken myself to an Institute of Demolition Engineers event, got through the front door, surrounded by people that I knew, many of which I like, some of which even like me, and had to get out. Felt completely isolated in a crowd. So yeah, it's a tough one. And I mean, we had an example last night, using the sporting metaphor again. On paper last night, France were by far the favourites. Their front three are probably three of the best 5 players in the entire world. They've been unstoppable, unbeatable. They're the reigning World Cup champions. Spain, meanwhile, not much in the way of superstar potential, but a proper team. And I was watching the game last night with Fred, and we were saying, France is 11 individuals. Spain is a team, and Spain won by 2-0. They could have won 4-0. All that flair, all that individuality and skill and talent was worth nothing up against a team that pulled together. And I do wonder if we've strayed too far away from that. And I think part of it stems from this, pushing people into self-employment, so you never know where your next paycheck's coming from. Because of that, you don't really strike up friendships. You'll have a chat on the way into work, but by and large, you keep yourself to yourself, because in a week, 2 weeks, 2 months' time, you'll be back in the car heading off somewhere else. You're not building up long-term relationships. And I think where that differs, certainly in the sphere of demolition, when you watch somebody like Armac taking down a bridge. Now, Armac are known for taking down bridges, but they do lots of other demolition as well. They do tower blocks and houses and all that kind of thing. But when the time comes for them to do a bridge, the bridge team is assembled. The Bridge Busters team is assembled. It's the same people, the same machines, the same backup equipment and everything else, because they all know where everybody needs to be. It's all choreographed. It's based on experience and expertise, and it works like a charm. And yet elsewhere in the industry, we've kind of bred that out. We've pushed people in to become a set of individuals. And I know I haven't seen Dan in the chat today, but I know it's one of the things that he always says. Nobody looks out for anybody else. Nobody's got your back. We've bred an industry of every man for himself, where every individual is precisely that. It's not my job to do that thing. You employed me to do this, I will just do that. I'm not going to help you out because I'm doing this thing over here. There's no teamwork, there's no camaraderie, there's no brotherhood of operatives and that kind of thing. It is just a bunch of individuals. And I think it's worrying from a mental health standpoint, which is kind of where I came in from this. But I wonder how much more productive, how much more effective, how much safer we would be as an industry if we were to go back to the old ways of actually having dedicated teams. Another one is Erith. When Erith do the demolition on nuclear power plants, it's the same team. People like Andy Dyson, who pops into the show every once in a while, he's part of that team. I think he actually heads it up, and you have the same people. They all know their roles. They know the risks and the hazards. They know the protocols, and they just hit the ground running, and they work seamlessly and faultlessly. Whereas other parts of the industry, it's you'll do for that job. You'll do for that job. I realise the two of you don't get on or have never met before, but you'll crack on. And it's not the same thing. Really isn't the same thing. Anyway, people, that will probably do us for today. I think I've probably taken up enough of your time. I'm going to go and do something to cool off because it's warm again in here. I'll be back again tomorrow. You'll be able to tell, even if you don't watch the match yourself, you'll be able to tell how it went by my mood and my demeanour tomorrow. If I'm sat here looking glum, you'll know. I won't mention it, but you'll know. If I'm even more energetic than I normally am, which wouldn't be hard, let's face it, you'll know that England actually got through to the World Cup final. We shall see. We shall see. Anyway, people, go and have a fantastic day, whatever the weather holds for you. And if you are working on a site with a bunch of other folks, maybe suggest having a cup of coffee together. Just, ring the changes. You never know. You might just get on with some of them. What have we got here? Stephen Edwards says, I hope you guys win tonight. Thank you, Stephen. I kind of do. My wife is furious with me saying this. I find it. I'm caught betwixt and between. I'm a football fan first and foremost, and I don't believe England play particularly good football. But ultimately, I was born in England, and I'm an English person, and so on. So we shall see. Chris Ford saying, adios amigos. Doesn't seem appropriate for today, does it? If you want people to be happy, safe, and productive at work, we need mentorship and people working in regular gangs. I've said it before, I'll say it again, and I'll probably say it again until this show finally hangs up its boots and its screens and its cameras. Jim Turner for Construction Minister. Yeah. We need mentorship and we need people working in regular gangs. Yeah, I was going to walk out the door in just a second, but I just want to go back on that. That idea of regular gangs. If you arrive, let's say there's a dozen people working on a site, and as is often the case, your employer or the developer, whoever, has assembled a team of agency workers. You've got a site supervisor who they trust, but you've now got 12 warm bodies, seat warmers, call them what you will. They've never met before. They might be all perfectly competent, but they've never met before, never worked together before. So obviously you're going to have a learning curve. You know, not only have they got to learn the job, they've got to learn the protocols of the job, the specific client demands, the specific site demands, the specific material and application demands. They've also got to learn each other. So there's a learning curve, and it's going to be quite steep to start with. Now, you know, if they're experienced, ultimately they'll get over that hump and they will become, you know, they'll become a well-oiled machine. If you arrive as 12 guys that have worked together for the last year, 2 years, the last 10 years, that learning curve no longer exists. You hit the ground running. Surely that makes sense? Particularly in an industry, I mentioned in there, you know, we are constantly looking for these marginal productivity gains. If rather than spending the first week on site getting to know the site, the layout, the job, the developer, the client, if rather than doing that, you just hit the ground running, you just gained a week. Does that not make more sense? Jim Turner says, luckily I never feel lonely in a crowd. I can go anywhere or work anywhere without knowing anybody. These days I can. These days I can do that. And I know back in the day, you know, when I moved from magazine to magazine and you find yourself with, you know, new editors and new sub-editors and, you know, new reporters working alongside you. Yeah, obviously there's a bit of getting to know you, but I always overcame that. But then when I had my funny half hour mental health wise, lost it. Now I'm back with that now. You know, I'll go anywhere and I'll talk to anyone. I don't really have a problem with it. But I wouldn't say it's necessarily the best way to be. Jim says, I don't need people. I'm self-reliant, happy in my own skin, which means I never try to fit in. Yeah, and maybe that was one of my problems back in the day, was the idea of trying to fit in. I mentioned this before, particularly within the sphere of demolition. I did make a big mistake more than a decade ago. I became so sort of intrinsically linked to the demolition industry that I wouldn't even say I tried, I just kind of found myself becoming friends with people in the industry, which is fine, you know. But if you're trying to be an objective reporter, journalist, that doesn't necessarily work. And you see the edges start to fray when somebody that you consider to be a friend or at least an acquaintance, you know, they have financial issues, they have an accident on site, you hear that they've done something a little bit sketchy or underhand. I took a step back. After my falling out with the National Federation of Demolition Contractors, I just decided there's no point in me trying to be friends with these people, because that friendship will only last until I am required by my job to report on them honestly, warts and all. And I realise that will end the friendship. So yes, there are people that I still speak to regularly. They know who they are. But by and large, I've kind of taken myself back, and as Jim rightly said, wouldn't necessarily go so far as to say I'm happy in my own skin, but I am certainly self-reliant. Anyway, people, I think we've addressed that. I've got something I'm working on in the background, and I don't know whether to do it tomorrow or possibly do it on Friday. It feels like the sort of thing I should do on a Friday. Kind of a rallying cry for the working man and woman in this industry. I've got it about 80% written. And I've got the other 20% rattling around in my head. May do that tomorrow, may do something else and save that one for Friday. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe it will depend on my mood as of tomorrow. We shall see. Anyway, people, go and have a good day. Look after yourselves. As I say, go and have a chat with one of your work colleagues. They might just appreciate it. Till tomorrow, have a good one.